Hi, good people. Welcome once again to another learning moment with me, Novelin Chirabo. I'm here to inspire you, motivate you, and energize you so you can live up to your fullest potential. Today, we're going to be talking about developing a personal contract. Yes, you heard me right. Personal contract. Probably wondering, what is that? I mean, who develops a personal contract? Oftentimes, for many of us, when we think about contracts, we think about our job contracts because that's the normal framework where we normally get to interface with our contract. And for those of us who are in the formal employment, you know that a contract is a legally binding agreement between you, the employee, and the employer. And so whatever is stated in there, once you sign to it, means you agree and you are willing to adhere to the terms and conditions that are stated within your contract. So when you talk about a personal contract, it's something very close to that. The difference is that this is a binding document, a binding agreement between yourself and your commitments. How interesting is that? So the thing about contracts is that they're very powerful in basically conditioning us to a place of commitment. They basically get us to a place where we are devoted to do the things that we committed to do, the things that we signed up for. And so the same thing when it comes to our personal lives. Oftentimes we have goals, we have ambitions, we have dreams, we have all these things that we want to do and accomplish in our lives, but there is no framework that is going to keep us on track. There is no framework probably that is going to keep you in check. I have previously shared about accountability partners, and accountability partners are great. They are a great support system in enabling us to stay on track. However, when it comes to a personal contract, this begins with you at a very personal level before you engage any other person to hold you accountable. So as a person, thinking about your personal contract is basically this commitment, this agreement that you're making with yourself. And the thing about a contract is that it stipulates what you are committing to. It doesn't stipulate what you wish for. It doesn't stipulate what you desire. It stipulates what you are committed to. And so you as a person beginning to drive yourself, beginning to commit to these things, there is power in writing. I have found so much power in writing my dreams, in writing my aspiration, in writing down the vision, in writing down my mission, because every time you write something down and sign it, oh my God, there's a shift in the energy that simply conditions you to now want to do everything in your power to ensure that you deliver and that you show up the way you desire. So the reason we do personal contract is basically to condition ourselves in a place where we are not just going through life, where we're not just doing things for the sake of doing them, but we have a mandate, we have a drive, and that keeps us online. So when we talk about developing your personal contract, how do you go about it? How often should you do it? I like to suggest that the same way we work with maybe 1 or 2 or 3 year contracts in our jobs, you can decide to write a 1 year contract, a 2 year contract, or a 3 year contract. Again, it depends on your growth needs. It depends on how quickly you are shifting in regards to your seasons and the season of your life. So here are the 5 steps in how you develop a personal contract. In developing a personal contract, we always start with your bio. Your bio is basically everything you know, your name. I don't know if you want to put your age, not really important, but your name is very critical. The other thing that you want to put at the top of your bio, I like personalizing things. I like customizing things. So adding a logo in there. If you can design your own logo, kind of put it in there. If you're branded as a personal brand, brand yourself and put a letterhead to it. Then include your name. And then previously in one of the other videos, I have shared about how to develop a mission statement. Include your personal mission statement or your vision statement in your bio section. So your logo up there, your vision statement, who you are, your name, and then how you describe yourself. So in a word or two, how would you summarize yourself? Whatever title you want to use, again, this is really, really personal. You put a title there and then put a time frame to it. How long is this contract running? From which date? And when does it expire? And remember, when it expires, come back and renew your personal contract. So working with an annual contract or 2 year or 3 year always makes it easier. Working with an annual calendar makes it easier for you to remember when you need to renew your contract. So once you're done with the bio section, one more thing in the bio section is you need to include who you are going to be accountable to. So you need to think about who are the people you're going to share this contract with that are going to hold you accountable. And when that is done, then we move into the second part of your bio, which is articulating your code of conduct. Now, for many of us, you're familiar with code of conduct, right? All the way from school into our workplaces. What's acceptable code of conduct? Now, this comes to you as a person. What is your code of conduct? What's your acceptable code of conduct? Your acceptable way of living and doing certain things. I like to start with your values. In case you're still struggling to find your values, I have a video that I've done about discovering your values. You can go through that to identify your values. But once your values are clearly defined, then you begin to take each value and turn it into actionable statements, which then become your commitment statements. So let's say, for example, one of your values is integrity. So instead of saying, I value integrity, what does integrity look like in your everyday actions? What does integrity look like in your everyday occurrences? That is what becomes your code of conduct. So you take this value called integrity and then you break it down and say, what will integrity look like in my everyday life? Integrity will mean that I keep my promise. So when I give my word, I'm going to follow through. Integrity means that I'll be honest at all times. Integrity means that I'll be fair and just in whatever I do. Again, it's very personal. Different people are going to articulate a single value differently. That's why I say this is your personal code of conduct. It's very personal for you. So take your value and then break it down. So working with that example of integrity, I would take those actionable statements and turn them into commitment statements. And then that would be, I commit to always follow through on my promise. I commit to always show up in the most authentic way. I commit to always say the truth and stand by the truth no matter how hard it is. So that is taking integrity and turning it into commitment statements which are part of my code of conduct. So it is so easy as I go about my business, as I go about different things, to remember that my commitment is to only promise what I can deliver, that my commitment is to say the truth no matter how hard it is. That is so easy to remember than to remember this big block called integrity. So the reason why sometimes there's a misalignment between our values and how we're showing up is because we don't have a guiding principle, we don't have a guiding statement that reminds us of what that value looks like in everyday occurrence. So no matter how many values you have, preferably I normally encourage people to have 3 to 5 values. So you take each one of those values and split it into actionable statements, and when that is done, you turn your actionable statements into commitment statements, and that is going to form the section of your core values. I suggest that for every value, develop at least 2 to 3 commitment statements which have been derived from your actionable statements. And that brings me to the third section of your personal contract. We talk about disciplines, routines, and patterns. What are those things that you would like to commit to, or you're already committed to, or you would like to strengthen your commitment to in regards to your daily routines and patterns? So the things you do on a daily, on a weekly, and maybe on a monthly. So again, listing those things and say every day, what are you committed to? Maybe you're committed to having a healthy breakfast, maybe you're committed to exercising 30 minutes or 1 hour a day, or you're committed to work out 3 days a week, you're committed to read a book a week, or you're committed to read a book every month. So again, listing the things that you're committed to in terms of routines, patterns, and disciplines, and then you also turn those into commitment statements. So I commit to read a book every week. I commit to work out 3 days a week. I commit to drink 2 liters of water every day. Those are examples. And again, it is personal. You know what you really need. Now, the idea is to only focus on the most core or priority aspects, not everything. Otherwise, you're going to have a 5-page document for a personal contract, and that's a lot to remember. So focus on the most crucial things and use short sentences just to state exactly what you are committed to. When that is done, we move into the fourth part of your personal value. And this is an aspect where most of us forget, talking about your core relationships, identifying who are the core people in your life. Maybe your spouse, your family, your children, your inner circle, your core friends. And again, being able to articulate what's your commitment to the core relationships in your life. Because oftentimes in the pursuit of our dreams, in the pursuit of our aspirations, we forget the people that actually hold us together when we're falling apart. So being able to commit in a certain way to your family, to your friends, is very important. It could be as simple as committing to making a phone call every week, or making a visit every week, to your core family, or touching base with your friends every week. Whatever it is that is important for you and can fit in your schedule, that is what you're going to put in the fourth aspect of your personal contract. And then The last bit of your personal contract is where most of us are thinking, where are the growth goals? Yes, we talk about the growth goals in the fourth bit, in the fifth bit of your personal contract. This is where you talk about your growth goals. And again, this is not where you transplant all your goal statements and then put them here. No, it's focusing on the most crucial goals, probably the ones you can track within the shortest time. I like to suggest that you focus on the goals that require you to do something on a daily basis or something that you do on an ongoing basis. So then that becomes easy for you to track than something that you intend to do in a 1 year period without a very specific, tangible milestone to track every so often. So focus on just a few core goals that are ongoing, that require maybe daily or weekly or monthly input, and then turn those again into commitment statements. And right there, you have your personal contract structure. My idea is that you should work within 2 pages. Why do I suggest at the most 3 pages? Because the longer it is, then it just becomes a document. The shorter it is, you can memorize it, internalize it, and work with it on a daily basis. Your personal contract is your commitment, is your binding agreement between yourself and your commitment. You want to achieve so many things. It's not just going to happen. And sometimes we don't have people to hold us accountable. Sometimes you need to push yourself. But even when you ask people to hold you accountable, oftentimes you need to give them a framework to work with. So when you have a personal contract, that can become a framework for your accountability partners to say, you know what, these are the things I'm committed to this year. Hold me accountable. So when you meet for evaluation, you will use your personal contract as a standard, as a benchmark to know whether you are on track or not. For those of us that love journaling and doing a personal reflection, you can use your contract to always analyze, are you on the right track? Are you making progress or not? Because these are your commitments and you will drive yourself to achieve them. And in so doing, you develop the discipline that you need to achieve your goal, your purpose, and your vision. My name is Noeline Chirabo. Have a blessed day and a blessed week. I'm happy to keep the conversations going online. God richly bless you.